All right, let's get right into it. If you're an international student at a community college and you're aiming to transfer and lock down those really important scholarships, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we are breaking down a clear, step-by-step playbook to make that happen. Okay, let's do this.
Does this sound like you? Yeah, you are so not alone. This is the real deal challenge, right? It's the anxiety that so many students feel. It's not just about getting good grades, it's about figuring out a whole new system. And, honestly, how to pay for the next chapter of your education. We get it. And this whole explainer is designed to help you solve that exact problem.
So what's the strategy? How do you actually go from feeling kind of overwhelmed to building a profile that scholarship committees just can't ignore? I'll tell you right now, it is not about luck. It's not about crossing your fingers and hoping for the best. It's about having a deliberate, focused game plan.
And here is that exact plan. First up, we're going to define what a high-impact profile even means. Then, we'll build up from the all-important GPA foundation. Next, I'll introduce you to what I call the power trio of activities. After that, we'll map out a semester-by-semester game plan, and then we'll wrap it all up by showing you exactly how to tell your winning story. Okay, first things first. We have to start with a huge shift in mindset. The goal here is to build a high-impact profile, and that means we have to move way beyond just checking boxes on some long list of activities.
And here's the absolute key. A high-impact profile is not a long laundry list of clubs you just signed up for. No way. It's a focused story that shows deep commitment, real leadership, and results you can actually point to and measure, all in just a few key areas. It's all about quality, not quantity.
And that story of quality, it begins right here, with the absolute non-negotiable first step, your academic performance. Seriously, everything else we talk about today is built on this foundation. Without it, the rest just doesn't work.
So take a look at this. This really breaks down the game. A 3.5 GPA, that gets you in the door. It's kind of the minimum to even be considered. But that 3.7 and up range, that's where you become truly competitive for those really juicy high-value scholarships. And if you're shooting for the moon, the absolute elite top-tier awards, that 3.9 plus is your target. So think of your GPA not as the ceiling, but as the key that unlocks these different doors of opportunity. Okay, so you've got that strong GPA foundation locked in. Now we move to the core of your profile, your power trio of activities. And again, the big theme here is building depth, not just a wide but shallow list of things you've done. You want to know why? Because committees see deep commitment as a sign of maturity, real passion, and, that you can actually manage your time well.
So what exactly is this power trio? Well, it's a super simple three-part strategy, and it is all about creating maximum impact. Let's break it down.
Here they are. Step 1. You're going to use Phi Theta Kappa as your scholarship engine. Step 2. You're going to commit to sustained community service to really show your character. And Step 3. You're going to develop leadership roles to prove you can actually create change. Let's dig into each one of these.
First up, PTK. And listen, the mission here is crystal clear. You don't just join PTK, you have to lead within it. Joining gets you access, sure, but becoming an officer and leading a big project, like an honors and action project, that is what makes you stand out. It shows you can manage a team, do research, and see something complex all the way to the finish line.
And why is PTK so critical? Well, this number says it all. $90 million. That's how much is available in transfer scholarships exclusively for PTK members. This is why we call it the scholarship engine. It is, hands down, the single most direct path to getting funding for your next school. All right, next up is sustained service. And this slide shows the idea of progression perfectly. See, it's not enough to just show up. You start with real commitment to one organization. Then you level up into a leadership role. Maybe you start training new volunteers. And finally, you create real measurable impact, like you design a new food drive that serves 500 meals. You're showing a clear path of more and more responsibility.
The third piece is leadership. Now, this can be a formal role, like a PTK officer, for sure, but it can also be a grassroots role, like starting a club because you saw a need on campus. That shows real initiative. Or it could be academic leadership, like heading up a research group. The key takeaway here, it is so much better to be the president of one club than just a member of 3. It's way more powerful. Okay, so we've got all the components. Now let's put them all together into a timeline that actually makes sense. This is the 4-semester game plan, and this is where we put this whole strategy into motion.
Let's walk through this. Semester 1 is all about that foundation. Lock in that high GPA and join PTK. Semester 2 is about going for depth. Run for an officer position. Semester 3 is all about impact. Now you're leading that major project. By semester 4, you're in your highest leadership role and you're focused on the application itself, getting it in and securing those killer letters of recommendation. See, it makes the whole thing feel totally manageable.
You've done all the hard work. You have built this amazing profile. Now for the final, critical piece of the puzzle. You've got to communicate it all. You've got to tell your winning story in that scholarship essay.
And lucky for you, there's a simple, really powerful formula you can follow. First, start with your challenge. As an international student, you have such a powerful story about navigating new systems and overcoming hurdles. Then, connect it to your action, how you used your PTK role to launch a project that got a specific result. And finally, show your growth, how all of this has prepared you to be a contributor, not just another student at your new university.
Look, if you remember only one thing from this entire breakdown, let it be this. Scholarship committees are looking for a trajectory. They want to see your journey, your growth, from a participant to a coordinator to a leader. This is the story your entire application, from your grades to your essays, needs to tell.
So the question I want to leave you with isn't if you have a story to tell. As an international student, you absolutely do. Your story is incredibly powerful. The real question is this: how will you strategically and intentionally show your progression? Thanks for joining me.